Amid the harsh, arid expanses of deserts, hidden oases and springs provide lifelines for wildlife and plants, creating pockets of vibrant biodiversity in otherwise unforgiving environments. These isolated water sources, fed by underground aquifers or rare rainfall, support an astonishing array of life, showcasing nature's resilience and adaptability. Let's journey through 6 of the world's most remarkable desert springs and uncover the ecosystems they sustain. We begin in the heart of the Sahara Desert. The Ubari sand sea oases in Libya stand as shimmering jewels among towering golden dunes. These oases, fed by ancient underground aquifers, are crucial havens for life. The most iconic of these oases, Lake al-Mar, with its striking saltwater and palm-lined shores, creates a breathtaking contrast to the surrounding barren sands. They sustain a variety of species, both local and migratory. Birds such as white storks, cattle egrets, and sand grouse frequent the oases during their migrations, using them as essential stopover points for rest and nourishment. The waters also support brine shrimp, which, despite the high salinity, form the base of the food web, attracting larger species. Reptiles like desert monitors and mammals such as Fennec Foxes and jerboas make their homes in the surrounding vegetation, relying on the shade and resources provided by the palms and other hardy desert plants. Next, in the vast arid expanse of Australia's Simpson Desert, the Dalhousie Springs emerge as a miraculous lifeline, fed by the ancient waters of the Great Artesian Basin, one of the largest underground freshwater reservoirs on Earth. These thermal springs, numbering over 60, bubble up in the middle of the desert, creating an oasis that sustains a remarkable variety of life. The water temperatures, ranging between 38 degrees and 43 degrees Celsius, provide a year-round haven for species uniquely adapted to this mineral-rich environment. Among the most notable inhabitants are the Dalhousie Goby and Dalhousie hardyhead, 2 small, endemic fish species found nowhere else in the world. These fish have evolved to tolerate the warm, saline waters of the springs, thriving in conditions that would be inhospitable to most aquatic life. Surrounding the springs are dense mats of aquatic vegetation, providing food and shelter for invertebrates that form the base of the oasis food web. The Dalhousie Springs are also critical for terrestrial wildlife. Birds such as zebra finches, budgerigars, and Australian ringneck parrots flock to the springs, using them as vital sources of water and sustenance. Larger animals, including kangaroos, dingoes, and red foxes, visit the springs regularly, particularly during the intense heat of the desert summer. The area's reeds and grasses offer additional habitats for small mammals and reptiles, further enhancing its biodiversity. In the heart of the Namib Desert, one of the oldest and driest deserts on Earth, the Kuiseb River oases form green lifelines that sustain a surprising diversity of life. These oases, created by the seasonal flow of the Kuiseb River, are bordered by towering sand dunes on one side and rugged rocky outcrops on the other. The oases' scarce but vital water transforms the arid landscape into havens for plants and animals, uniquely adapted to thrive in harsh conditions. The oases provide a refuge for iconic desert wildlife. Herbivores like oryx, springbok, and Hartmann's mountain zebra frequent the area to graze on the sparse but nutritious vegetation sustained by the river. Predators such as leopards and brown hyenas follow these herbivores, using the oases as critical hunting grounds. Smaller species like Namaqua chameleons and desert-adapted geckos rely on the vegetation and insects attracted to the oases for sustenance. Bird life flourishes in these green corridors, with species like sociable weavers, Namaqua sand grouse, and black-chested snake eagles taking advantage of the rare abundance of water and food. The Kuiseb oases are also home to hardy plant species, including anna trees and camelthorn acacias, whose deep roots tap into underground water sources. These plants not only stabilize the soil, but also provide shade and nourishment for the animals that depend on the oases. In the arid expanse of Chile's Atacama Desert, the Tatio geysers rise dramatically from the earth, creating one of the most remarkable geothermal fields in the world. Located at an altitude of over 4,200 meters, this collection of more than 80 active geysers, fumaroles, and hot springs is an oasis of warmth and life in one of the driest places on Earth. The geothermal activity sustains a unique ecosystem. The geysers and hot springs are home to a variety of hardy microorganisms, such as thermophilic bacteria, which thrive in the hot, mineral-rich waters. These microorganisms form colorful mats of algae and biofilm around the geysers, creating the foundation of the local food web. The Tatio region is also a vital habitat for iconic Andean wildlife. Birds such as Andean Flamingos, Andean geese, and crested ducks frequent the warm waters and surrounding wetlands to feed on algae and small crustaceans. Mammals like Vicuñas and Andean Foxes roam the area, using the geothermal activity as a source of warmth during the freezing nights. The stark landscape is dotted with hardy plants like yereta and puna grasses, which survive in the harsh desert climate and provide shelter and food for smaller animals. Finally, nestled within the arid expanse of North America's Mojave Desert, the Ash Meadows National Wildlife Refuge in Nevada is a sanctuary for biodiversity and home to some of the rarest species on Earth. This unique oasis, fed by a vast underground aquifer, features over 50 springs, pools, and wetlands that stand in stark contrast to the surrounding desert. These waters sustain a delicate ecosystem that supports life forms specially adapted to this isolated environment. One of the most extraordinary inhabitants is the Devil's Hole pupfish, a species found only in a single limestone cavern pool within the refuge. These tiny, iridescent blue fish have survived for thousands of years in water temperatures and oxygen levels that would challenge most aquatic life. Other endemic species include the Warm Springs pupfish and the Ash Meadows speckled dace, both of which thrive in the refuge's warm, mineral-rich waters. The wetlands and springs also attract a wide array of bird life, making the refuge a vital stopover for migratory species. Birds such as American avocets, willets, and Vermilion Flycatchers rely on the refuge's water and surrounding vegetation for feeding and nesting. In the surrounding desert, animals like desert tortoises, jackrabbits, and kangaroo rats depend on the refuge's plant life for sustenance, while predators like bobcats and red-tailed hawks benefit from the abundance of prey. If you're inspired by the surprising biodiversity of these hidden desert springs, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories about the world's most extraordinary ecosystems.